Do it live! Do it live!
Welcome everybody to the Noun O Clock show at the Noun Square. Hope you're all doing awesome this morning, this afternoon, or this evening, wherever you are.
Yeah, boy, that's a slow one for this morning.
This beautiful song is called Cold World, and it's by our guest today, Shadow Work. It's a vibe. If you haven't already done so, please hit that bubble on the bottom right, share the room, let people know that we're talking to Shadow Work here today, watching the auction, playing FOMO. Get lots of people in here for us. We appreciate it. Hit the bubble, just retweet. Sam, could they win something if they do that?
Oh, they can win something.
And what could they win?
Sweet.
Like pulling teeth, Sam.
Is it 0.69?
I think you're right.
It could be. That seems awful memey.
It's probably 1/10 of that. 0.069.
What? Welcome, everybody, to the 9 o'clock show. Welcome to our guest, Shadow. Thanks for joining us so early in the morning.
Amazing track. That was sick.
Yeah,
Thank
really cool.
you. Thank you guys for having me.
For sure. We got more coming too later on in the show, so look forward to that. Shadow, is this your first time on the 9 o'clock show? I think it might be. Or have you been on before?
It is.
Awesome. Well, welcome. I met Shadow when she was coming on Little Nouns and Little Sisters spaces. She's involved in those communities. And we've had a lot of great response whenever we've had music guests on the show. So I reached out and said, if you'd like to come on and share your music and share your journey, that'd be pretty awesome. So before we get into that, for those of you who are new here, this is what we do. We watch the end of the auction for NounsDAO, which you can watch easily at nounoclock.app. So as you can see today, we've got a nice wizard hat that we minted together on FOMO yesterday for a certain Wizards DAO who has been looking for a wizard's hat for quite some time. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they were the highest bid before, and I think they still are with 78.69. So we're going to root for the good guys here and hope that Wizards DAO is able to take that home today for that current bid of 78.69. There are 9 minutes and 40 seconds left in the auction unless someone decides to bid more. I mentioned FOMO. As I mentioned earlier, we minted this by playing FOMO yesterday. Someone want to take a stab at explaining what FOMO is for our audience?
FOMO is fear of missing out in the general Web3 world. So Nouns decided to change that, and they've made it so that if nobody settles the auction, we get to play a game where we get to vote up or down various options for the next noun. And we can get rugged by the blockchain because each block, it stops. So if we don't get enough votes in on time, we're rugged. Or if somebody settles manually, we're rugged.
Yeah, so it's basically like a hot or not, like you said, for the new noun, and a way to gamify the normal settlement of the auction. For those of you that are familiar, like for example, Shadow, you may be familiar with little nouns. You know, after you win an auction or you see an auction being won on little nouns every 15 minutes, someone has to actually click the button to settle the auction and take home that little noun. Have you ever seen that before?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this basically does the same thing, but instead of just clicking a button, we play this game, and we have a little bit more time since there's only one noun per day, not every 15 minutes. So it gives us a time to play this game, and what we're going to do is go to fomonouns.wtf at the end of the auction, so in about 8 minutes. So get that window fired up, everyone, fomonouns.wtf, because once the auction does end, we'll race over there, and you won't know what hit you. So you'll want to come up on stage as best as you can. That's right. It's going to be a metal experience.
FOMO time.
That's a new one. That's from the contest, eh, Woody?
Yeah, I just pulled it from the soundboard. It's awesome. It's
So
going in my favorites of the favorites.
Ooh, favorites of the favorites. That's pretty
bro.
that's pretty serious. So that's what we do here, guys, and it's going to be fun. So what we'll do is for the next 7 minutes and 29 seconds, we will chat with our guest Shadow. If we happen to get cut off by the auction, Shadow, don't be offended. It's just the way we do things here, and we'll go do the FOMO game, and then we'll come back and we'll chat after. No stress. That works for you?
Totally. Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your Web3 journey? I know that you have, in your career, you've done some socials for some big companies like Netflix, etc., and that you're a songwriter who's released several songs as NFTs and as combination NFT videos. And I believe you've got some music that's going to be dropping for streaming services later this year. Tell us a little bit about your journey.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you guys for this platform. Yeah, and just being a really kind community from the beginning, getting involved with the nouns. It's just been a really kind community, which is an open. The fact that there's even a space that's particularly the Little Sisters, that's particularly focused on women and non-binary people, is just like, it's huge in this space. So first of all, I just want to say that. But so I joined Web3 I guess it would be January. I heard about it. I started, I guess, really researching it in fall, December, really, of last year. And I heard about it through a podcast by someone, actually a musical artist in this space, by the name of Latasha. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her, but she's a hip hop artist in this space. Amazing, amazing, amazing person. Has found great success in Web3. And as you mentioned, I've worked with, I've managed social media brands like Netflix, Oprah's own network, and things like that. But during the pandemic, I think, as a lot of us,
get a tweet, and did you ever use that one?
yeah, that was my whole job. But during the pandemic, I think, like a lot of us, I did like some reflection, and just kind of brought me back to like, what do you want to do? What do you want to spend your life doing on this earth? And some of the things that I came back to is, I think I've always done creative work in my own time, but just realizing that, that's something that I wanted to do, to take more seriously. So kind of the combination of that and hearing about NFTs from the artist perspective kind of pushed me into Web3. And the first thing that I minted was a dance NFT, and I got really lucky, blessed. My first piece was picked up pretty quickly by Food Masku. I don't know if you all are familiar, but a really beautiful, beautiful artist, performance artist in this space. Yeah. So yeah, and that just felt so affirming, right? Because I felt like this path to come back into these things, but you never know. And I didn't realize at that moment just how lucky I was, you know. But yeah, so that really started my journey into really building communities within Web3. You know, I came kind of with the idea, with the pull kind of intuitively of like art, you know, like I have to get back to the art, to the core of who I am. But as a result, I've built and I'm a part of so many communities here, so many kind people, beautiful people that I've met as a result of being here in Web3. So I worked in dance. That was my first, and I still do. That was my first NFT, and then since then I've also done music. And now I'm working on I'm doing all of these at the same time right now, but I'm also doing a podcast, a comedy podcast as well. So
Is that
yeah.
is that the BS Radio one, or is that a different thing?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's BS Radio, which really just came from like, there's not so much entertainment in this space, you know? And it's like, I would go in rooms, especially like at the beginning.
We'll try not to take that. We'll try not to take that personally. No, I'm just kidding.
No, this one is actually entertaining. But like, you know, you go in rooms, at least like, I think whether like as an artist, or even if you're here more for like flipping, whatever you're doing, if you go in spaces, like it can be really, really stressful. And my co-host and I were just kind of like, man, we just want a place to laugh, you know, just literally a place. So it's just an hour long, but it's literally just a place to have fun, to laugh, you know. It's structured fun, if you will. But yeah, that was kind of the vision behind the podcast.
That's very cool. And I think that's so true. We've heard that feedback actually at our show, that they're like, oh, I didn't know Twitter Spaces could be fun and not just like boring or chaotic in a good way, you know?
You want to get
hot? So we try to strive for that as well. So very neat. Do you want to tell us a little bit, Shadow, about the track that we played on the way in? In 1 minute,
yes.
31 seconds. In 1 minute or 31 seconds or
cool.
less.
Cool. Got you. Yes. So yeah, that one is called Cold World. It's very 80s inspired. It was produced by a friend of mine named Frontin. And it was kind of inspired by just a place that I was in, of feeling like, this is before I encountered Web3, and feeling like I know that I'm an artist. I accept that I'm an artist, but like what, you know, the world doesn't necessarily value art and artists, financially speaking. So what does that even matter in this world? And so it was kind of like I was in that place, you know, in creating the song. But yeah, very 80s dark wave feel song.
Boy, it reminded me of an old Stooges song. I was curious if they were among your influences. Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super.
Ooh, that's our 30-second countdown for the auction. So we'll
Saved by the bell.
So everybody go to fomonouns.wtf. We're going to play together. Let's go.
We have 52 listeners on. We'd love to see you all go to fomonouns.wtf.
Yes, please.
Nice. So Wizard DAO got that now then.
Wizard DAO
Looks
got
like
that
it.
now.
Congrats, Wizard DAO.
That's awesome.
And thank you for actually buying the now like you said you were going to.
Yeah,
Yes,
that was
exactly.
definitely a solid task. They were definitely in the market for one.
Shout out to Bankless.
I was gonna say, if you ever say you want a
Shots
specific
fired.
down here, we will never forget.
YOLO mail.
I wasn't going to mention any names, but all right.
Shout out Bankless.
I'm feeling spicy this morning.
That's a cannon.
Cannon
Hey,
fire. Okay. We're playing FOMO here, guys.
Are we
Jeez.
trying to
All right,
mint bubblegum
another
today?
one.
Are we going?
We're trying
for
to
a
mint
chess hat?
any of those unminted nouns that you've seen someone submit for our contest because they deserve to get that bounty. I want to see someone win a bounty this morning. So take a look at that. Do we have it pinned up here? Let me see here.
Basketball.
We don't. Would someone mind pinning that quickly? The 39 heads that haven't been minted, so we can kind of reference it quickly if someone has it handy.
Yes,
we got a crab here in the longest block of the Ethereum blockchain. You know, enjoy this because in a week's time you won't get these long blocks anymore after the merge. You know that?
Exactly.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Allegedly.
You'll miss them when they're
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I kind of like them.
Rumor has it you won't get anything longer than 15 seconds, but they'll all be 15 seconds.
Whoa.
I thought it was 12.
Yeah, it was 12 seconds, I thought.
Aha, you're paying attention. Good job.
It's an approximate.
Oh, no!
That's a much
Wizard
better
hat!
wizard.
Double
That's a much
down!
better wizard.
I
Another
mean,
wizard hat, yay. Come on, that's an awesome one.
It would have been pretty funny though, right? For us to mint another wizard hat.
Oh,
Dude,
that
Ethereum
Ethereum
frog.
amazing.
is nice.
This is like my
Hey,
dream
frog.
noun.
Oh my god, that was such a good
Chain
one.
link fence.
Guys, I can't believe you let Ethereum Toady go by.
I
That's as
definitely
bad.
I wanted Ethereum too.
Oh, my baseball.
baseball.
That's as bad as letting Double Dino go by. Just so you know, so you're not going to stop hearing from me about that one.
That one will haunt you in your dreams.
Oh, you guys.
Spicy
Trapdoor.
No.
FOMO.
Oh God.
And we have to just sit in that for a while now.
Bruh.
It's 7 in the morning. I'm not doing the growls yet.
Good.
That's when you're supposed to do them. I thought no. We've got Fry Whale. Are you playing with us, Shadow? Are you on fomonouns?
I am.
All right. Oh, that's a
I
nice,
like this one.
I like
vinyl
it.
chip.
I really like this one.
Dope.
Oh.
It's chiptunes.
Chiptunes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
totally.
Or it's like before and after, you know? It's like the vinyl and then the chips. So it's
Vinyl chips, yeah, exactly.
They're delicious.
vinyl chips. Yum.
Vinyl chips, yum.
Ooh,
You
I
don't
love
believe
this.
me? Ask the dishes.
You guys, we need to mint this noun head.
I mean, do we though?
Oh right, I forgot it was.
Sorry, we love you, Grandpa.
It's a good
whoever
combination.
threw the crane.
It is.
Ooh, Fox. But I still voted them down because we are here for a reason, and that's to vote unminted noun heads. Take a look, guys. Top pin there shows you all the ones that haven't been minted yet. So
look at that instead of
we got
FOMO.
basketball, beatbox, brain, beatbox, bubblegum, capybara, car, chain. Oh, capybara would be fun. That one's pretty.
Yeah.
That's
I
a new
love
one.
that one.
Chef's hat. Sam said he's going to do some weird
No,
stuff.
that was for yesterday only.
Oh, okay.
That was for yesterday.
That offer was for a limited time only.
Thank God we don't have to get the chef hat then.
Today,
Ooh,
it's
business
bubble
void.
gum. If we get
Good boy.
bubble gum,
This
I'll
is
do a one-off NFT for him.
guys. This is corporate America here. The business void.
That is the meat's face.
Can't have enough voids.
Dark Factory too. Dark Factory. We've had some great factories that have come up and have just gotten unjustly voted down, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the factory head.
Yeah, you
Treasure
all wouldn't
chest.
be here today if it wasn't for the Dark Factory.
Let me just tell you some of the ones because I've been going through the contest entries recently for our contest that's currently live, and the ones that I've seen that need to be minted in order for people to win the bounties are the basketball, the box, the brain, the bubblegum, the capybara, the chef's hat, the chocolate, the lips,
man.
the helicopter, the donut, the
I love that
orangutan, the piano, the sandwich, the smile, the snowman, or the treasure chest. That's a lot, actually. People have been hitting a lot of these, actually.
Definitely want the piano. I would love to see a piano.
Same.
I want the
This is a
piano
cool whale too.
with the dark glasses and a grayscale 9 shirt, so it looks like Darth Vader.
Yeah, not to be
Yes.
too specific.
Whoa,
Ooh,
this is a
business
rad
wine.
barrel.
That business
That's-
wine's pretty good.
That was fresh.
Wearing
He's wearing the
Patricio's shirt.
Patricio. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got the Patricio shirt on.
Patricio after dark.
We do a little
Come on, Vineyards.
Whoa, Orca, this is a good one too.
Chef hat.
Chef hat.
Chef hat. Let's go. Let's go.
Chef hat from Mars. Come on.
Let's go.
How
That is
about
such a good one.
Oh, I like
Trogdor gnome is pretty good.
Salt.
That's a Gnome Star Runner. You remember that?
Yeah, that's really good.
Okay, that's a good one.
Tell
What
the
is
brothers.
happening? Was there another
one in the morning?
We're at
Was there another
48
Twitter
active
Spaces
players
at the same time voting down the chef hat? What happened there?
I
I
think
feel like we should have just got that.
sometimes it feels like we get some residual downvotes from the previous block. I don't know if that's what happened, but this is the retainer, right, Ben?
Yeah.
Retainer accessory.
Exactly. The
Yeah,
fox goes
it goes with the aardvark head.
The aardvark retainer.
It also looks like a little dinosaur eating out of something.
Yeah, the first time I saw it, I thought it was a Triceratops.
Yeah, I thought it was a Triceratops too. Ooh, vinyl outlet, and it's gone. We got a birthday cake.
Got Noggles for the birthday.
That would have been good for the anniversary. If that had come up on an anniversary, definitely would have been minted.
Yeah, I like the birthday cake head.
I clicked on it just because I want cake this morning.
Part of a balanced breakfast.
That's
I
right.
voted against
It's got
myself
eggs.
on V1 and V2.
It's got flour. It's got milk.
It's a perfect balanced diet.
Wait, Ben, do you have V1 and V2 both open?
I mean, it's
Yeah.
not far. It's not far off from, like, say, Fruit
This
Loops.
is pretty good for Doritos nil. The nil watermelon. It's like the total nutritional value you get in the Doritos.
Wow. Shots fired again.
We're just making friends this morning, huh?
This episode.
It's a good one
they
if you
know.
did get it.
They know.
Oh, yes. Treasure chest.
Ooh, yes.
Treasure chest
I
is
like
not
this treasure
$10.
chest.
Come on, what are you
Yes,
doing?
we can do it.
Go.
Yeah, we got
Hey,
it.
attempting to settle. Come on, please.
Go,
We
go,
got that.
go,
Attempting
go.
to settle. Come on.
I think we got
We
it.
got it.
Those are
Yeah,
the
I reckon
matching
we're gonna get it.
noggles. Oh,
Lock
And I really
one
like
up.
that shirt with it, too.
Yes.
Fancy.
I think we're going to get it. This is a brand new head that just got introduced on 0808, and I've seen at least 2 entries to our contest. So some people about to win some bounties.
And
Hey.
was the first, and was
Home
the
Diddley's
first
trying to
new
front
trait
run us
that
right
showed
now.
up on chain.
No.
If he manages to front run us with this one, I don't mind.
Yeah, I
this
don't
is
really
good. We're
care.
trying anyway. Yeah, he can save his gas. We're about to get it ourselves. I
At
wonder
this
who
point,
wins.
At this point, I hope Honk Diddley does have to pay the gas just for trying to rug us.
Hey, we got it!
Hey, we got it. We got it. Congratulations, everybody.
We were waiting for the chest just for that sound effect, huh?
What the dog doing?
Well, he's been keeping that one a little close to his chest. Yes, if that's what you're asking.
Well played.
So that's pretty cool. We managed to mint one off of the 39. Cross that off. Nodes, you got some work ahead of you. You got to cross at least one off the 39 and give us a new document. Shadow, I think this is the first time ever playing live with us on fomonouns. What did you think?
Yeah, it's so cool. It's really cool.
She's like, help me. This was really chaotic.
No. No, it's really cool. I mean, it's like what you were saying, you know, it's a very like entertaining, you know. It's not a typical space, you know, which is a compliment.
And also not the typical way. Also not the typical way that NFTs are minted either, which is kind of the cool thing about
it's really
nouns.
cool.
And also not the typical way for a host to place a bid without a note on the new app.
Who would do such a thing?
Who would do that?
Oh my gosh. I'm Toshi with the shots
Shout
fired
out to
early in the
Bankless.
morning.
That's so good.
I mean, I feel like the treasure chest had, if they didn't want a bank with a heart on it, what are they looking for?
Oh no, but your bid disappeared. I think Tortilla, he knocked your bid
No,
out.
it's still there.
Tortilla's got 0.69 or Toshi's 0.7. Should be okay.
Oh, well then I've got a bug report for 142 because hers is not showing on my screen. What?
I've got confirmation that the Wizards DAO was the winning bidder. So congratulations, Wizards DAO. Let's go.
For some context there, anyone who might have missed it, Wizards DAO has been looking for a wizard head noun for quite some time. Wizards DAO is another sub-DAO similar to Nouns, but with wizards. And they've been looking for a wizard's head for their treasury for quite some time. But I believe the only one that was available was a Nounder's noun. So it was one of the founders of Nouns had gotten one as one of their bonus nouns every 10 nouns. And one of the Nounders had claimed it. So it wasn't available for sale. So they had asked if we could try to FOMO one, and Ben brought it up to our attention. And we put our minds together when we saw a wizard hat come up yesterday. We minted that thing. And, I think we deserve a commission on the OTC, right?
We are the bounty.
When 9999 gets his bounty client up, then maybe that's something we can look into. We can
retro bounties.
Retro bounties and give it to charity or something every time we mint a FOMO noun. That'd be pretty cool. Or not. I mean, we don't have to.
It'd be cool if you logged in with your wallet, if it saw that you minted, that you were one of the people that picked it, and then it would just kind of send a little bit of ETH to you.
Maybe that's how it'll work. We'll have to get friend of the show 9999 to come on sometime and tell us what he's got planned for that. Until then,
I'm curious about the bounty program, to be honest. That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm. So I have a couple other songs here from our guest that have been released. Curious Shadow, which song would you like me to play next for our musical interlude here?
Yeah, you can play Eggshells.
That's the one I've got fired up. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it before I play it?
Sure. Eggshells. I mean, it's funny. This song was created around the song itself. So the way that I create is usually I'll create the demo in my house. So this one is with a full band. So you have guitar, drums, and bass in here. And so typically the way that I create is I'll create with the drums. I'll use a program on the computer and use the drums and then bass, and then I'll go in the studio and work with musicians and build on top of that and kind of produce the artists and work around until we get a sound that works. And so this one was made around the same time as Cold World and kind of has a similar theme. And I would say it also has an 80s vibe, but it's a lot more rock, which I would say is more my genre. So nice. Yeah,
cool.
This is Eggshells.
80s is definitely making a renaissance as well, with The Weeknd and many artists digging deep into the 80s for their influence. So
there's just so much good stuff.
I mean, I'm a fan of everything that came out of the 80s for sure. Literally dating myself. All right, let's listen to Eggshells, and I want to apologize in advance for playing music out of a computer into a phone. Literally the only way we can do it on Twitter Spaces, but I'm sure it'll sound great.
We'll do it live.
Built a world out of absolutely nothing. Fancy yourself a god. Fancy yourself a god. Have you ever put stars in the skies of your own fucking brain? Afraid it'll come to nothing. Are you afraid it'll come to nothing? So I walk eggshells from my own palm, from my own palm. That's why I walk on eggshells from my own farm, from my own farm. Catch anything better than the billboard time, the billboard time. Have you ever seen the night turn to day?
Very, very cool. Amazing.
Yeah, that's rad. It's got some vibes, man. Like that's even through the Twitters.
Yo, GM, that was so dope. Was that CC0?
I doubt it's CC0. I wouldn't expect it to be, but definitely an amazing piece. What is the licensing on that, Shadow?
No, it's not CC0. Although I hope to in the near future work on some CC0 noun projects, music related. But this one is not. No.
You need to
And I will
connect.
say, I was
You
just
need
gonna
to-
say I'm happy this sound like that you guys appreciated through Twitter, because that's like as a musician, hearing it through Twitter sometimes can be a little hard. So I appreciate that you guys were feeling the vibes even through Twitter spaces.
I was vibing. I wanted to like comb my hair all forward and do like a little eagle like swoop over my forehead, and then just put some like
Block of Woodies.
some boots on and just start doing like the dance. You know, it was awesome.
Yeah, I
wanted to
got
do-
to get a copy of this to listen to on some real speakers. That was like I can definitely. That's the thing with music, right? Like it is, even though it's not like obviously the best quality through Twitter, you can still hear like everyone used to listen to music on the most ridiculous systems in the past, and it's like got a vibe of itself, and some music can suit that, and others not, and like. For me, in this case, having not heard your music before just now, it's like I don't know what to expect anyway. So it's like nice to vibe out like this, and then when I throw it down on some good speakers, it's going to be like a whole nother thing. Go on another journey.
Growing up, recording music off of MTV onto a cassette tape really made it so I could handle some pretty lo-fi sounds.
Yeah, I used to record onto VHS from like on the TV, and then I would rewatch it so many times that the whole thing's stretching, and like the sound was insane. Like it was really cool though, actually, with the stretchy sound.
You were like DJing in slow motion over several years.
Yeah.
For those of you not born in the 1800s, a cassette tape, and this, well, there used to be these things. I don't know. It's called film.
Hey, Aptoshi. Hey, Aptoshi. Fuck you.
Be kind. Rewind.
Shadow, I was just going to say you should definitely connect with Woody here up on the stage. He's our musical maestro here, and he does a lot of NFT music stuff, and he's also working on a really cool prop coming up called Noun Sounds, which is going to be all about CC0 music. So maybe you guys could work up a collab. Would be pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
For sure. I'll definitely hit you up.
For sure. We got Aptoshi is just feeling like this morning. She's just
seriously.
Aptoshi's out here.
Aptoshi woke up and chose violence.
Yeah.
What's the yeah, is it like Vaitoshi or something? What are we doing?
I think like 3 a.m. Toshi, I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm too happy to be up at that time. But at 6:30 a.m. Toshi,
She's
It's
now she's
like
shots fired, Toshi.
It's
I
grown
call her
Toshi.
Toshi.
That's okay. I mean, I'm sure she's not that young. She probably remembers CDs at least. It's not that much better.
She definitely used to watch Carson Daly, and she couldn't.
I definitely I've heard that MTV used to have music, so I don't know. Thank you guys for
You'll be surprised when you hear what the M stands for.
Is it just Cribs now? Like I haven't even watched MTV for that long.
Yeah,
but
It's just
imagine
reruns
like
of
shows
Cribs
like
nonstop.
And reality shows. Reality shows. Don't forget
Oh,
reality
true.
shows.
It's so sad.
Road rules.
You know what's sad that I don't know like at all. I used to love
I
MTV.
genuinely, yeah. It's just reality shows. I've never seen music on MTV.
Oh yeah, that's insane.
Which I mean, you have to give them credit for, like Pivot of the
Just
Century,
dated
right?
yourself.
That you have to give them credit for that, though. It's at some point when someone went into a board meeting, they're like, "Hear me out. we're not going to do any more music. We're just going to do reality shows."
Well, I mean, that's kind of like what Richard Branson did. You know, he went from doing vinyls and recording studios, and then into like
Into
music,
space.
and then he's like, you know what? I'm going to just make like hit every big industry. I'm going to do transport. I'm going to do finance. You know, he's just like, I got to keep up in this game and forget the music at this point.
Funny enough, though, I think that's only an odd thing in the Western world, though, because like in Japan and Korea, it's very common for corporations to have their fingers in lots of different industries. So
I worked for Konami, and when I started working for them, you know, I thought video games solely, and they're like, no, we also do sports fitness equipment and like drugs. I was like, oh.
Yes, and also spoons and motorcycles. For some reason, always motorcycles. I don't know why.
Yeah,
because they're
like,
fun.
this is a Konami treadmill, and I was like, that's not Castlevania.
Can I interest you in a grand piano or a crotch rocket motorcycle? Anybody?
Both.
Imagine a year from now, that'd be like us being like, okay, we're gonna call it the Noun Square still, but we're not gonna talk about nouns.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly the same thing. It's only going to be reality shows. Fast forward.
Yeah, we're just going to go into each person's house every once in a while and look around.
Talk about squares, different colored squares.
No, they didn't even do that. They didn't even do that with MTV, though. They just kind of like they just forgot about the music, and they're just like, it's just MTV. It doesn't stand for anything now. It's just MTV.
Yeah.
In all fairness, I'm pretty sure YouTube came and just made it irrelevant.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm saying
they stopped, because they stopped like early 2000s.
I think
like
it was the board
on
members.
the wall, basically. It was
the
like
board.
The reality shows were doing better, and music videos were starting to become on demand, and it might have also
Bane pays too much royalties.
a little bit with the music industry, kind of going
this
down.
This ASCAP is killing us.
Well, it's like when Napster came around and LimeWire and streaming, like
Toshi, if you let that one go, I'm going to take it personally.
But budgets and everything for music videos. I mean, music videos used to be, $2-3 million, $4 million, and now they're like, you're lucky if you get $30K to shoot a music video at a major label.
Well,
Yeah,
because
for sure.
It's like the expectations of having a music video is like, it's like music videos are like the free mint. Right? It's like they almost expect when you drop your track now that you have, surprise, I have 12 music videos to every single song on my album, and it's one whole long story. It's like they almost expect to have some visual.
I have a question. What's the music video? Does anyone have a music video of the last 12 months or 2 years that has been really impactful to them? Does anyone remember any music videos that came out?
Probably Kendrick.
Yeah, I guess everybody remembers the Snoop with Eminem in the NFT space.
Which one? Sorry, Snoop and Eminem. You mean at the
Bored Ape?
Oh yeah, the Bored Ape tank. Yeah,
that one. Kendrick has done some dope stuff too. But as far as like the
videos, it's just that it's not the main way people find out about music. Like I think MTV used to be the Discovery Channel. Like, well, sorry, not the Discovery Channel. Which by the way,
that's only for a loop,
I found out all sorts of new musicians. back in
No,
80.
look at the retention of a music video though. It's like, 4 minutes maybe. And then if you look at the retention of a full-fledged episode of an addictive reality TV show, I think the board members were just like, oh, well, we're getting so much more retention. If you're watching a music video and then the next one comes on and you're like, I don't really like this, then you're just going to change the channel. But you're always going to be addicted to reality TV.
Well, and that meant that they had to have segments all built around the songs too. So they had to have all these hosts and all these segments, and it was more like a news production than it was anything else. So
and there were more channels that popped up too, like VH1 and BET. So like in '86, they started reducing the number of music videos they had, and they started to have shows like Remote Control. And then when The Real World showed up, they went down that path.
So you're saying we should just kind of change our format? Maybe into something like Bankless?
We're going to invite 12.
Shots
we're going to invite
fired?
12 nounish teenagers to the bayou into a hype house.
The bayou.
The bayou.
I don't know. It sounds like
get me this noun here, huh?
I feel like New Orleans would be a place where they would have. Don't they have the Real World in New Orleans? I don't know. I wasn't a Real World connoisseur. That was not a cricket joke. It got a very good response. You're not allowed to use that out of context. So I mean that's the story of
the crickets here in the bayou,
I know you all tuned in here today to hear the story of MTV, so I'm glad that we were able to tell that to you in such vivid color.
I want my MTV.
Yeah, you do.
What would have a show called if you were on MTV? Pimp My Nouns?
Yeah, that's right. Pimp My Nouns.
Well, maybe should we talk about the I Want My NOC campaign, Woody?
What's that?
Talk about the I Want My NOC campaign that we're thinking
about?
Yeah.
How many people by show of emojis remember the I Want My MTV commercial campaign? I was actually not even I didn't see that live, but I remember the campaign. Does anybody remember that, where it was a bunch of celebrities saying I want my MTV on a commercial? Yeah, I think most people remember it.
Definitely an American thing. We didn't have it here in Canada, but yeah,
that's a good point though. It was definitely an American thing because
they
were just
watching Pinwheel in Canada.
Yeah, well, they were trying to get the American cable companies to pick up MTV, and that was their grassroots campaign, was getting these artists to make a commercial to encourage people to, same thing as like Rock the Vote or something like that, where they were just like, hey, you got to get out there and do this. And that's these important people are telling you that you should, so you should. But it was
just as important as Rock the Vote. I want my MTV.
Well, do you remember Rock the Vote?
Well, yeah, I mean, they still have versions of Rock the Vote kind of even to this day. Get out the vote and stuff like that. Same ideas, right?
Shadow, you remember all this?
Not Rock the Vote, but I will say, since we're on the MTV lesson, which I didn't prepare for, but I love it. I was going to say my PFP is actually a take on Daria.
Oh my God. Nice. I was just about to ask you about that. Daria. That's right. Amazing.
Yes, take on Daria.
Who is the PFP by? Is it by you or someone else?
No, so it's kind of a mix of things. So I have a loser PFP, loser club, so Javon, and then a friend of mine, actually my co-host for BS Radio, Bianca. She like remixed it. She's like an awesome visual artist and everything too. And I was wearing the Daria PFP for a while just because, like, I don't know, I vibe with Daria a lot. So I'm like, I was wearing it, and then one day, like, I just woke up and this was in my inbox. She like remixed it for me. So it's like it's a combination of my loser and Daria.
Oh, that's really awesome. Dope.
That's amazing.
Really cool. And I'm noticing that the reason I was going to ask you about it is because I'm looking at the next song that we're going to play called Untitled Demo. I'm sure it's not called that, but it is an untitled demo. And it's got another version of this Daria with some tears and an open heart. Is that also by the same artist, I assume?
Yeah. So that's that's Javon, who created Loser Club. yeah, so that's the one without the edits that my friend made.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's very
Yeah,
cool.
she did a lot. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, should we play this song? Did you want to share this one with us as well? Untitled demo.
Shall we share the room real quick first?
What's that?
Let's share the room real quick first.
Yeah, that's a good point. Everybody, if you haven't already, please retweet the room so people can hear this amazing song by Shadow. And of course, we're going to give away 0.069 ETH to one lucky retweet picker winner at the end of the show. So you've got maybe another 10, 15 minutes here to retweet that room. There's no better time than the present. Hit that little bubble on the bottom right and then just retweet the room. Maybe tell us something that you liked about our guest or about our show today in a quote tweet if you're feeling generous. Thanks for the reminders, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So can you tell us a little bit about this untitled demo? Why is it untitled? When's it going to be released? And what's it about?
Yeah, so I wanted to put this one because as I mentioned, like, I came into Web3 kind of as a hope for music, right? But then I found community and a lot of beautiful people. And the first community that I found, the first PFP specific community that I found was Loser Club, and out of Loser Club came a group called The Outsiders, which one of my friends is in the audience right now, the only one who's in London. So Omatayo is down there, a lovely, lovely singer. And so the Outsider Collective puts out mixtapes. They just put one out and it sold like an NFT, and it sold almost 300, which for music NFTs is like crazy, but it's a beautiful community of artists, primarily musical. And this is my submission for the upcoming mixtape. And so it's with a few people, a few amazing, amazing musicians in the space. So you have Girl, who I think you've seen in like the Little Sisters spaces. She's amazing. So she's on here.
That's GRL. It's
yeah. Really beautiful person. So Girl, and then Werb is also on there. Young Werb, an amazing producer. And then Jaden Violet, who's in music NFTs, a really cool person, really amazing music as well. So this is a very collaborative song, and it is a demo, so it's it's unmixed and we're still kind of figuring it out. But I was like, I thought it was a cool representation of like community and just making something really special in the Web3 space. So it's a little vulnerable for me to put something out that's not completely finished, but I'm learning really through the Outsider Collective to kind of be more open with my process. So yeah, it is not ultimately going to be called Untitled Demo, unfortunately, right? Because what
that
a
would
good
be
name.
a good name, good meta name though, for a track.
But
Confuse everybody. Well, if it makes you feel better, I can play it out of a MacBook across the air in through my phone over Twitter Spaces for utmost quality, if that helps.
And don't worry about the unfinished part. Like, we're using Twitter Spaces, which I feel like is unfinished software. So,
That's right. That's right. So it's
don't buy the name that feeds you, Ben.
You're feisty this morning.
I'm sure it's going to be beautiful. Let's listen to it. This is an untitled demo, and I think it's awesome that you want to share this with us. Shadow, this is true alpha. This has never been heard before, I don't think. It literally says this track is private on the SoundCloud that I'm listening to, so this isn't even a public track, and you're getting to hear it today because you joined us on Noun O Clock. Let's go. Ooh, I like it already.
Yeah. Check. 1, 2.
reckon
really
this could
cool.
be in the if there's another season of Mr. Robot. I reckon it's like such a suitable show for this kind of music. Some sci-fi, but decades past mixed vibes.
Shadow, you
I
guys
love
are
that.
that was so freaking cool. I can't
So
wait
cool.
to. I need to actually. What was it called?
Untitled demo.
Oh, nice.
It's not released yet.
That
Not released yet. Not released yet, but it will be released soon.
Oh, cool.
What were you thinking?
I'm thinking that you guys are just a bunch of badass ladies. I would love to have these songs downloaded. I do like these fun contest spaces, but it'd be fun to maybe open and close sometimes with one of your guys' songs. I love the sound, and I love that you guys are bringing this to Web3 for sure. And I love that that's actually that I got into Web3 at the same time as you. And I love that you like instantly went to building, creating, like how were you going to now insert this thing that you already loved and have passion for into the space. So hats off to you. It sounds freaking awesome. And I can't wait to see like what else you guys do.
Yo, Shadow, how do you approach the live performance aspect? Like being releasing music in Web3 and stuff like that. Are you constantly playing out, or are you just recording live video and putting it out? Or how do you approach the performance aspect of Web3 music?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think it's a conversation that definitely needs to be had, especially for native Web3 artists or maybe artists who haven't had like a background in performing. So I actually like music is my first love. So I did, I have experience in performing. For a while I did solely hip hop and then kind of got into rock, but I do have experience in that. As I've gotten back into Web3, I've gotten back into kind of thinking about performing. So last week I had a performance for Superfest. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but that's a festival that is it's put on by the people who created Bonnaroo, and it's NFT centric, NFT led, and so there's opportunity for artists, Web3 artists, to perform in that way. But I'm very big on like wanting to, so I'll be performing like next month. And now that I'm done, because I just finished an EP which is not out yet, but I'm very big on that being its own thing and realizing like it's one thing to record, but it's a totally different thing to perform live. It's just completely different. And so I'm just wanting as much as I can to get that practice in, right? Because it's a muscle that you work now that I'm back at it. So I think every Web3 artist is different, but that would be like, I don't know, I guess my biggest advice. You have platforms like Superfest that allow you to like come and play. I did like a remote show for them, but yeah, for me, I'm just trying to perform as much as I can, and there's definitely performances that will be happening like in Miami. There were in New York. The Outsider Collective had an amazing show in New York, but yeah, I think just for me, it's about making sure that I'm working that muscle year round, not only at like Web3 events.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. And then how do you approach the music video thing? Because it's an interesting thing. We were talking about the MTV stuff, right? Like if your fans are in Web3 around the world, how would you approach the music video thing? Because it's kind of like live performance meets music video is content, and I guess social media can help a lot with that. But do you see yourself like, do you make a lot of music videos, or is it more social content to market your songs?
That's a really good question. I have done one piece of art that I called it a visualizer, because I didn't really have, I guess, the gumption to call it like a music video, but in retrospect it's definitely more of a music video that I did myself. And what I noticed is that that led to, I think that led to the success of the song. So it was for Cold World, which is the first music NFT that I put out. I think because I actually released them in the wrong way, quote unquote, as far as Web 2 goes, right? Because I released the song and I had a drop party, and then a week later I released the video. But I definitely saw, it's kind of like, it gave the song a new life, which, I mean, it's crazy that a song would need a new life within a week, but I definitely saw it was very successful, and I really think that that was a part of it, especially on Twitter, right? Because especially if you're making music on Twitter, right? Because music is not, you're not necessarily gonna know it's music if it's on your timeline, you're just scrolling, so it gives you like a visual, you know. But I will say some really cool alpha. Eggshells has the coolest video that a friend of mine in the space, Poma, is creating for it, that will be dropping this month. And I plan to actually put out Eggshells, so that was the second one that was played, for Web 2, right? Because it's not on streaming right now. So I plan to couple the streaming with the visuals that I have that she created. So that's like a collaboration that we're doing. So that's the beautiful thing about this space. Like anything,
boy.
anything you need, you can find here, right? Like people who will help you and help you create your vision. So yeah.
Absolutely. I will say, like, with your music in particular, like, it's really dope. So don't feel like you have to have like a promotional window. You know what I mean? When you make really good music, it can be evergreen. So you can make a music video, or you can make any sort of marketing or promo stuff like months down the line. A lot of musicians, especially nowadays, get locked into that sort of like ADD mentality where it's like, oh, I got to put the song out. And as artists, like, we always like our new babies, you know? So it's like, oh, that song that busted ass song that I made like a month and a half ago. But you got to look at it from,
I feel
yeah, from the standpoint of the audience. Like, they love your shit and you have really good music. So just keep doing it. And like, you can make, you should be pumping your shit like 6 months down the line that you did create now, because it's really good.
So much.
And have you guys heard of Revelator, the music distribution company that uses the blockchain to distribute royalties?
Yeah. Is it? Wait, I heard of Reveal. That might be another one.
I've heard it known as Revelator.
It might be. It could be a totally other one. So I know some of my friends have used Reveal before, and I will definitely be using that with my next one, because I hate having to calculate myself. You know, that type of thing. But yeah.
Nice.
Very cool. So when will people be able to find that demo somewhere online? You mentioned that it's going to be submitted to a collective soon and a mixtape.
Yeah, so the Outsider Collective, it's I'm sure Omo has more information than I do. My friend in the audience, as far as the timeline. So we have, like I said, that was a demo. This month we're basically gonna get the final version of it, and then we'll get into like mixing and mastering, because music is such a process. And then if you're doing like a group of songs, you know, like with various people, it's also gonna take a little while, right? But I would say definitely by November, and I would guess that, you know, if you guys are going to be in Miami, that you can see it live if, you know, you guys want to. So yeah.
That's amazing.
When is that happening in Miami?
Our Basil.
You got to come back on the show closer to the performance.
Yeah, absolutely. There's something to that too, with like you're playing this demo, right? And like with the tech that we have, it should be something where you can upload all these different versions of your song, you know? So it's like, oh, we have this demo. Oh, we have, you know, the first mix we ever put on it. Oh, I needed to change this lyric or whatever. And like, maybe someone could go in that buys your NFT or your song and like listen to your original demo or the third version, and it can tell the story, you know, like a tree, like rings on a tree, you know what I mean? Like, you could see the entire scope of the creation of the song. That would be really dope.
Literally the musical version of Building in the Open, which is very nounish.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's special
I love
too.
that stuff myself too.
Original edit.
What was that, Abtoshi?
I'm just saying it's cool because like imagine being like the holder of like one of the original edits, you know, before like any changes were made to the song.
Yeah,
That sounds cool.
exactly. That's what I was going to say. As a collector, I love finding stuff like that. And if I've collected someone's music or their art or something like that, and if it's a visual art, and then you found like a pen scribble that they did when they first came up with the idea, or if it's music and you can get the stems or like just some pieces of that, like that sort of stuff is like, I got hard drives full of that stuff. I'm an avid collector of all the things. I love it.
That's really beautiful to hear, and it's definitely something for me to think about as far as just like my current holders, because I'm like, you always want to like support the people who support you, who see you before maybe other people do, and all of that. So that's a beautiful perspective.
Yeah, and I think it's a good way to do that too. If you're like looking to reward holders and OGs and stuff, it's like, well, check out all this the things that usually people wouldn't show and like might make you seem more vulnerable, but they've got the final product anyway. You might as well show some of the journey, and like Woody said, it tells the story. And it's I think it's just part of nature. The fact that everyone's held on to so many secrets in so many different art forms for so long is kind of weird. Like I think that's pushing against what nature does. I think nature just shows things publicly all the time. So if we can mimic that, I think it's probably more successful long term anyway.
I love that.
I'm trying to see if I can get the professor up here. I wanted to ask about Little Sisters and that program. But in the meantime, Shadow, can you tell us how you came to be involved with Little Sisters, and tell us a little bit about your proposal that's currently up in their contest?
Yeah, so I heard about Little Sisters through really through the first community, like I mentioned, Loser Club. So Zach Radio, I think some of you all know him. Told us, let us know about Little Sisters, Girl and I, and a few other people. And so that's when I started just kind of understanding like the landscape and the vision. And like I said, like I will say from the beginning, there's just been such a warmth in the nouns, every space that I've gone on, like the Little Sister space. And then I went in the Discord as well. And so yeah, that's how I found out about Little Sisters through a friend of mine, and have been going to the spaces and checking you guys out. So, and then like the proposal that I have is actually for BS Radio, which is I mentioned my podcast that I do with Illuminated Babe, which is who's my friend. And like I said, it's kind of it's really just a place to have fun. Like I said, there is structure, but it's just like, us talking about, we do things like we give advice, like really bad advice to people.
We do that too. That's a great idea.
Oh, maybe there's a collab there or something, but
we explain memes badly and crypto badly.
Yes. Okay. I love that. I love that type of stuff because I just get it's literally a thing of like, I just get so overwhelmed with this space, and I have the Daria like rendition, right? Like I need a little sarcasm. You know what I mean? I can't take this stuff too seriously or I'll go crazy. So that's really the vision. So yeah, it's for the proposal is for sponsorship, basically. So what we're thinking is that the nouns would basically be like, if you listen to any podcast, you'll have like different sponsors come in, or not come in, but you'll have the person like reading a sponsorship. And so basically it would take the place of that, although we're open to collaborating in different ways, but that was kind of the first thing that came to mind. So our spaces typically get 50 to 100 people. And so just exposing those people to the noun brand, really in whatever way that we being my co-host, myself, and the nouns find most appropriate. But yeah, that's really the vision.
So kind of a stamps.com situation? Nouns.com?
What does that mean?
Oh, stamps.com is a really popular company that does a lot of podcasting advertising. That's why. Nobody, no podcast.
Would you like
No
sitting
podcast.
down
No
by
That's new.
hand?
That
And you'll like stamps.com.
Exactly. Thanks,
I
Sam.
thought stamps.com was a like a shipping company. You can like aggregate
Yeah, that's
shipping
what I
services.
guess.
No, they
Why
are,
is it called
but they
stamps.com?
no, it's because anyways.
Do you hate cockroaches as much as we do? Call stamps.com.
Have you guys not listened to Bankless?
Yeah, thank you. Jeez, Louise.
I got no time for that. I'm busy.
Ben hasn't
You know
listened to
what?
Bankless ever since Bankgate
Now that you say
2022.
that does sound familiar. Stamps.com. I'm sure I've heard
Congrats.
it. I listen to a ton of podcasts, but like very particular ones have stamps.com. But now
If
that you
their
said it
marketing
a few
department is
times,
listening to this podcast, they're all crying.
Yeah, they're like, how have we spent $1 billion on
They're,
podcasting advertising?
they're like the exact audience that we've been targeting is
When your
has
marketing
no
doesn't
idea
go
that
as
we're doing
planned,
it.
stamps.com.
Sir, with all due respect, I think it was that Toady guy's delivery. I don't think it's a it's not our advertising campaign that's to blame. It's totally
They should be
true.
going on and be like, stop it.
Oh wow.
Anyway,
your
this,
delivery because it's a shipping company.
Oh my god. I'm
Hello.
guys.
Why does cargo go by ship?
I'm on stamps.com.
Okay.
So first of all, it worked. But at the very top, it says "heard us on radio or podcast." This is
See?
so smart. That must be the only way that they advertise. I'm gonna click there. Is it click?
It is, and yet, nobody laughed. It's just really. I just wanted to go back to that for a minute.
This has turned into a stamps.com advertisement.
Not a hashtag.
Noun O Clock, sponsored by stamps.com.
Yeah. Get your first $5 in postage on them.
We should let them know. We have a whole audience who hasn't heard.
All right, we got to record.
Not coming back.
It's really great advertisement. It gets people to the site so that they can be like,
No,
why would I need stamps?
We'll send this bit to them and say that they need to sponsor our next month of shows.
Are we still talking about stamps.com?
Yeah,
I won't explain my experience with them so far. Then
ours is
if
spelled
we're looking for sponsors.
I'll cut that bit out in post.
Hey, you know the Web3 people that don't mail anything?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's advertise to those people.
Have you not bought a stamp in years? Can we interest you in bulk stamps?
It's just like the crazy collectors that are crazier than me that collect stamps that are like, oh, this sounds interesting.
Hey,
Stamps.com when you're trying to get your $500 fanny pack.
I definitely have more stamps than I'll ever need.
I will say this: if this was an ad, it would have been a genius ad. That's all.
Yeah, for sure.
This was not an ad. We
Yeah.
do not endorse stamps.com.
Yeah, don't go there.
DYOR and
but
unless we ask them for retro rewards,
exactly.
they say yes.
We could endorse them. We could do that.
NMA, not mailing advice.
When mint for stamps.
yeah. Talk to me when you got a stamps NFT stamps.com.
Oh, that'd be brilliant. You could have a stamps NFT, and then you could pay that instead of gas when gas is flaking.
I was just gonna say stamps are like the OG gas cost.
What?
Up next to that,
Oh my
like, have you
God.
heard us on the radio or podcast thing? The next thing will be like, did you find us on an NFT?
What's the utility of a stamp anyway? I don't even get it.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. There's no community. That's what I hate about.
Well,
stamps.
they are
should make
collector's items, and they do
Yeah.
random drops. And like you'll show up at the post office, and they'll be like, "Surprise! Only a week of the Harvard Canoe Rowing Club."
The
And you're like,
Harvard
"Oh my God, I
Yeah.
have to
Canoe
get
Rowing Club off the top of the head.
Yeah. Docs does a stamp collector up there.
She has no idea what MTV is, but she knows it.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. Shout out to the Harvard Canoe Rowing Club.
That's right.
You're making me want to
female
collect
one,
stamps
the female
again.
rowers. It was a shout out.
Rowing.
I think Uptoshi is right, though. The stamps are the NFTs of the old school days. Woody, I think maybe the spit that you use to lick it is the gas. That's the better metaphor. You lick it and put it on the envelope. It's not fair. He has the soundboard. I have the soundboard too, Woody.
I will say though, that I think there are also like cooler ways to making the podcast noun-ish. I would say like, I've been rocking this PFP, and honestly within a few episodes we had someone get a loser literally as a result, just being like, oh my god, like just loving the vibe. So I think there's other ways. You know what I mean? We're also
you got to make those
we're down to
glasses
think outside
noggle.
of the box. I do have a noun, but I'm waiting for it right now to come to my wallet. But I do have my noun.
Yeah, Shadow won a little noun in our soapbox spaces last week. So
Nice.
Al409 will be sending that over to you. But that was cool to see.
Have we heard from Omatoya, the music medicine woman?
Oh, that's great. I was trying to bring him or her up, and I'm glad that they managed to get on the stage. Hey, Omo.
Hey, how are you doing? It was typical timing. As I was in the space, I was like, oh, nice to be here, just supporting Shadow. Then my boss called me, and then I saw the request to come up. I was like, no, terrible timing.
You should have been like, boss, I got to do something important here.
Yeah, Web3 first. Web3 over
Sounds like a
everything.
good opportunity to quit your job.
Well, it's lucky that I handed my notice in, so my last day will be in 3 weeks, actually, and then I'll be done.
Nice.
I'm always one to congratulate people for quitting jobs. I'm an advocate for just doing whatever you want to do and not having a single boss. I hate that stuff. So like whenever someone's like, "Oh, I lost my job," I'm like, "Congrats, man! That's awesome."
Yeah, I'm all
landlords and stuff.
Yeah, I'm the same. That I was always kind of a freelancer by nature, but I recently had a daughter. She's 2 now, so I kind of in those early babyhood days, let's say, it felt good to kind of have that stability. But now she's a bit older, I'm like, no, time to quit, go back to freelancing, travel the world, work remotely as much as I can, and just start.
You're 2 now. You can get a job.
Yeah.
Now you work for me.
Start providing. Yeah, exactly. Contributing.
Quit your job, they
that's
say.
awesome.
Don't have anyone's boss, they say. Meanwhile, every day, Noun O Clock, we're here.
That's great.
We're here because we want to be.
This is like the only space that's in my time zone, in a sort of UK friendly time zone. So as soon as I saw the reminder that Shadow sent, I was like, I am going to be there for sure. This is great.
Amazing. What's it been like to work with Shadow? And what have you worked on together?
Oh, I love Shadow. We haven't actually had a chance to work together yet, but we met, as she was kind of saying, that within the Outsider Collective that I'm one of the co-founders for. Because most of the Twitter spaces that are Loser Club specific are not in my time zone, I kind of hadn't really connected with her. But then occasionally we'd be in the Discord kind of having a VC, and she came on my podcast and I said this really, but what I just was really always marveling at is this way in which everybody else and she kind of had this discussion that was like, the words were so, I don't know, just that there was a kind of like this, just like it was like almost like play fighting within the conversations that people were having. I was like, who is this chick? She's really cool. And then when we were at NFT NYC, I got to meet her and we got to spend quite a bit of time together in New York actually, and just kind of connect on more of a soul level, I suppose. And since then we've just been sort of voice noting, and it's been really cool to hear about what she's wanting to do within the Web3 space, not just in the music realm, but also in terms of the performance art space. And I'm so excited for that aspect of her to kind of come to Web3 as an offering and see how that manifests and what kind of collaborations she gets to do. But I really hope we can work on something together at some point. We've got like a few little ideas of some things that could work in terms of live performance setups and that kind of thing. So we'll see.
Let's go. Well, we want to be the first show that you come to when you're going to do a collab, a live show. We'd love to host you back and hear first.
Oh, love that. Amazing. Love the sound of that.
By the way, a couple of us up on the stage were actually in New York for NFT NYC. So it's funny. I wonder if you guys might have crossed paths or if you were at different events. But Uptoshi here was doing a Nouns activation that week, and Noun 142 was also there shooting some footage and going to parties. So I wonder if you guys might have crossed paths.
Are you guys going to go to Miami for Art Basel?
Absolutely. That is totally happening. The Nounish Prof is up here. Ryan, myself, we've already started conversations about doing some type of really awesome, like almost CC0 geared activation. So maybe you guys can be our whole musical element at that. That would be freaking awesome.
Oh my God. That sounds incredible. Yeah, I booked my ticket to Miami, and we as the outsiders have got a few little things planned, but that would be amazing for sure. What you're talking about would be super cool.
I love that. And then you guys, is Paper Hand Poppies and the Outsiders, right?
Yes, yeah, exactly. So he's also
love Paper Hand Poppy and have known him for a little bit in the space, and he's super freaking talented. We used to like debut his music like months ago, pre the Loser Club drop. So I love that you guys have all found each other. And now when I think of like the Loser Club or see any of those NFTs, I fully think of music. So everything you guys have done over there and like that sort of like music takeover has been really, really cool to watch.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he's a great human being. That's awesome that you guys have connected. And yeah, I think what's really cool in terms of what we're doing with the Outsiders has just been having our roots so firmly in the Loser Club, even just with the name, you know, like Loser Club, the Outsider Collective, but also then starting to kind of spread the branches of our tree, as it were, and realize that kind of intention with what we're doing, which is to sort of uplift and onboard creatives to this space and give them that platform to not just share their own creativity, but also kind of collaborate with other people in a way that's very easy, which I think is something that is really hard in Web 2, especially as a musician. So just trying to create that, you know, that actual sense of community, of something that you feel a part of, that you want, that you get something from, but also that you want to give something to, and take that, you know, from the roots of Loser Club into the whole Web3 space, really.
Yeah, I would say that I would say like one thing. I mean, I keep saying the same thing, but I'm always impressed. I don't know, maybe that's bad in the world when I find like, I don't know, just genuine, cool, like fun people, down to earth people, you know? And I would say there's definitely a unity between like the vibe of like Loser Club, which also has just like I would say that same vibe as the Nouns. So it's really cool, and I think it's like there's a natural unity there. And also, like, man, wait, was that Green Day? Bro, the fact that I knew that after 1 second.
I love that.
You're like,
I love that.
Fantastic.
I knew
you know those guys on
the song.
You know those guys on TikTok that they look at the screen for like 1 second and then they can tell you where in the world it is? You just did that with 90s music.
GeoGuessr, but for
He
music.
says my shadow. I should have had that queued up the whole time.
Yo, but that's cool of Toshi. You're like an OG Poppy knower. You knew Poppy before like most of us, you know, and before Loser Club. That's impressive.
Yes. Well, that was a long time ago. Yes, when I was doing spaces with Sheffo, and he came in and like I think he had like displayed his music for the first time and was super shy and was like,
wow.
I remember my first space, I was like shaking. I feel like for like 3 months, every time I got on spaces, I would like have an anxiety attack. But I don't know. So like we all kind of like had those training wheels on together and kind of got used to being in spaces, I feel like, together, got through all the weird, awkward phases, got to play our music, got to figure out what the hell the sound thing was, got to be rugged a million times. And so it was really fun. And I can't wait to finally, he's still someone I haven't never met in person though. So the best part about IRL and doing all these events and making sure that these, you know, that the Nouns in that Loser Club and the Outsiders and things have this presence at IRL events that makes sense for them to be at, you know, are really going to open up even more opportunities because everyone's going to be able to look each other in the face for the first time, some people. So, you know, we gotta keep pushing to make that happen. We gotta fight to maybe get some people, I believe, funded to sort of just be at these places, because that's when it all goes down. So I'm excited to see what we can pull off and what we can continue to do in the future with these types of things.
Totally, yeah. I think that was definitely, so I'm based in the UK, and pretty much everybody else within my Web3 circle is in the US. So what was wild was just kind of going to NFT NYC, which I suppose was the first event for, let's say, the music NFTs, which weren't so much a thing last year in 2021, and just seeing the how people have been connecting in spaces for months and really, really forming relationships within the digital space, but which are actually still hitting in the heart. And then to see those people and everybody kind of, mostly people that didn't know each other outside of Web3, and coming together, and you just feel there was just a sense of belonging. Even though I was coming from the other side of the world, there was not a moment where I felt like I was on my own or it felt a bit awkward. And I think what's cool is now that that's sort of the bar, as it were, for NFT NYC, it's really cool to see how to sort of almost like bottle that feeling and bring it to Miami, and, as you said, kind of continue to create this like inclusive, welcoming IRL experience that people feel like they really want to just be a part of.
Just so you know as well, the same people that through NFT NYC, they're also going to be doing NFT London. That's the first week of November.
I know. I'm so excited about that.
I think some Noun people are going to be there. I will be there.
Oh, cool.
And so we would love to do something there as well.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm actually talking to Loser Club about this, so maybe we should talk about maybe joining forces.
Let's do that. November 3rd and 4th.
Yeah. Actually, wait, no, I think it's 6th and 7th. I think Art Basel is 1 to 3, and then NFT London
yes.
6 and 7. But yeah, let's definitely talk, because I was kind of having some thoughts with some chats with Loser Club about doing something. But it would be super cool to join forces if that sort of aligns with what you guys are doing. Let's keep talking for sure.
Awesome, sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Omo, and thank you, Shadow, for joining us today. It was so awesome to hear about your journeys and to hear your music live as well. Excuse me. We have some contests to draw for. So, Contest Toshi, I'm going to need your assistance, please, before we close out for the morning. Can we please do a draw for the tweet picker? If you can do that. In the meantime, I had a draw to do myself this morning. Speaking of Contest Toshi, Toshi had a live spaces on Saturday, which was, what was it called, Toshi? A contest extravaganza. You'd say it better.
Contest Toshi's Contest Extravaganza.
Say that 10 times fast. So she had that, and then it was super fun. People had a lot of fun. There was a draw every like 5 minutes or 15 minutes. That was a Food Nouns soapbox episode here on the Noun Square. And I decided to play a prank on her after that. And she had mentioned during the show for someone named JP to DM her to say that he was the one that won the $50 USDC during the show. So I told everybody to DM her as well and be imposters and try to convince her to give them the $50. But in the end, that I felt bad, so I said we would do a quote tweet draw on that and actually give $50 USDC to one of the imposters. So I have done that draw, and I have a winner for the $50 USDC. Can I get a drum roll, please? The winner is Adjective Akash. Akash is always in our show. I don't think he's here today, but he often is in our show. So congratulations, Akash. You win $50 USDC for impersonating our friend JP from Brazil and pretending that you won the $50 USDC. So see, sometimes it pays to fake it till you make it. All right.
Harassment.
Yeah. Sometimes it pays to do a little harassment.
Yeah.
Only in
That's the message we want to be sending.
It was one of the funnier contests, that's for sure. You guys definitely have a sense of humor. People were sending like photoshopped IDs. Like, it's really neat.
Yeah, I did the Twitter picker. I almost wanted to do it just by effort, because we should shout that out. Parker Eth sent a tweet. Hi, dear Madam Contest Toshi. Really sorry to bother you, but I should say that I am the real JP. Other people that DM you are fake. I know that it is unsafe to send ID cards to someone else, but I just had to send it to prove that I am the real JP. And then there's an Italian, a copy of an Italian ID card with JP's profile photo in his name. So points forever. You know what? We're going to give him $50 USDC as well. So Parker, you're going to get $50 for effort, and Akash, you won the draw. So
you're going to get $50.
You. That's right.
Everybody.
We're
Just
learning our social media.
send us your physical address, and we'll use stamps.com to mail you some cash.
This $50 brought to you by stamps.com.
We will also include a cassette tape of some of Shadow's best hits. If you write now.
8-track.
8-track. Okay, Aptushi, if you're gonna let her say 8-track and not make fun of her, like, come on. You made fun of me for a cassette.
She doesn't know what an 8-track is. She has
That's
no idea
probably
what's
true.
happening right now.
Yeah, she's like, what?
It's what came before the B track. I totally know what it is.
8 track.
It's not a railroad thing.
Oh boy.
It's not a railroad.
It used to be in cars. And I mean, cars are almost outdated, aren't they? We're going to be in spaceships in the next 10 years.
Yeah, we don't need to go anywhere anymore because we're all in Web 3.
No, I thought
Is that
we were
what you
going to be
mean?
in spaceships already. We were supposed to be in them. Jetsons told me that. I was
Yes,
supposed to be flying
exactly.
around.
I'm still waiting. I'm hopeful.
Still waiting.
All right, Toshi, you got a contest winner for us?
I do. Does someone have a drum roll?
That is not a drum roll, but we'll take it.
Retweeting the room. The winner is David Mirelis, systemdm.eth with the
Hey! System DM was up on stage with us earlier, but he didn't mean to be. He tweeted and said, sorry, I didn't mean to come up on stage.
I can see you in the audience. I'm not even going to DM you because you've won before and I have your details. I'll add you to the payouts list and it's done. Yeah,
is System DM the new Haps? System DM is the new Haps. We need to ban him. He's winning too much.
Exactly.
He wins once a week. It's definite though.
Hey, you know what? If you come to the Noun Square and you play the contest, you have a pretty good chance of winning on the regular because we are giving away a lot of ETH over here.
Another one.
And another one. I like this one a little bit better, actually.
Another one.
That's one that Woody made for Little Spaces.
Oh, it's so little.
That's incredible.
All right, so last thing on our agenda is a POAP. Ryan, Matt, can you take us out with a POAP today?
Here at Noun O Clock at the Noun Square, we do a daily POAP. When you open the POAP app in the bottom right corner, hit the mint button, then hit the secret word. And today's secret word is the wizard. Son of a bitch, I hate that sound.
Oh my god.
At the very least, don't play it over the POAP word.
It is the wizard. THEWIZARD. The wizard.
I love the power glove. It's so bad.
For those who are not American, that's Zed.
California.
ZARD.
That sound throws me off every time.
Yeah, me too, and I made it. So
I was gonna say.
On this episode of Can Ryan Communicate the POAP secret word?
The answer is no.
Well, everybody tries their best to fuck him up in the middle of a sentence.
These
we love
POAPs
you,
are
baby.
really fun, man. World
love
Noun
you,
is
baby.
good.
Love you too, baby.
All right. One last thing I wanted to just remind people of. We do have a contest that is ending tomorrow, EST time at noon. So I guess that's about 16 hours-ish from now. And that is to do an art piece in any medium that is inspired by one of the noun heads that has not yet been minted. So that would be any one of the 39, now 38 noun heads that has not been minted. And you can do that piece in really any style you want. And people have been. They've been drawing it. They've been illustrating it. They've been, making arts and crafts. I'm not going to say it, Sam. I'm not going to say it. You could use any kind of medium. That's all I'm going to say. You
Can
could
you use peanut butter?
You could use peanut butter.
So like a semi-solid.
Yes, you could use a semi-solid, Sam.
Sweet. Like clay.
Yes, we're not doing this again, Sam. You can use any kind of medium, including semi-solids, and you could make
Pudding?
one of the 39 man. I will boot you from.
If you make it out of pudding, I'll be happy.
Yeah, if you can make a noun out of pudding, that's impressive. That's worthy of a prize in and of itself. You know, someone's going to do it now. So you
definitely. You
can
pretty much lined that one up perfectly. Someone's going to do it now.
That's amazing. So you can do this. Do any of the 39 nouns that inspires you, or all of them if you want. But if you do more than one, remember that you have to list your guess of which one you're choosing to guess for the bounty. And how does the bounty work, Ben?
I'm not sure. How does the bounty work?
First call up Doug.
Very well rehearsed show we have here at the Noun O Clock. Sorry, I thought you knew. The bounty works.
So basically, if you mint the noun head that you drew before the contest ends, but after you submit, you get an extra 0.069 ETH as a bonus.
Correct. You got it.
Yeah.
And actually, it's interesting because I know at least one person won one today. I have to go through the entries and we'll find out and announce tomorrow. But I know at least one person had drawn the treasure chest, maybe two. So we might have a couple bounty winners already. It kind of adds a little layer of fun to the contest.
Very good. Very good.
Maybe we can get a couple more tomorrow when the contest ends. But yes, just wanted to give a final reminder for that. Make sure you get your entries in before noon tomorrow. And we will be drawing for some big prizes. 3 prizes. I think it's 0.5 ETH for top prize. And then 2 second and third prizes of 0.1 ETH each. And then the bounty prizes as needed if people get those bounties. So get in there and send us some art. We always love seeing your art. So please keep it coming.
So good. And we've also got a whole ton of Soapbox episodes lined up. Like we started the Soapbox like maybe a week or so ago. We started getting it all together, and now we've got food nouns on Mondays, Shark DAO on Tuesdays, food nouns on Wednesdays, Lil Nouns on Thursdays, Little Sisters on Thursdays, International Nouns on Fridays, and Toshi's Contest Extravaganza on Saturdays. And
so basically what you're saying
works.
is anytime someone wants to get some Nounish content, they can just come straight over here to the Noun Square and they can find it here. And we're excited today to have our inaugural Shark DAO spaces. So Josh, will you be there with Cryptasha later today?
Yes, I will be.
Everybody's struggling with the on-the-spot questions this morning. We must not have got our coffee.
My
I was
just kept
looking
going
at the Spaces schedule just to make sure I was up to date with when everyone was on, and you're like, what about that contest though? I'm like, damn it, I've got to go to the other tweet.
Gotcha. Yeah. So later today at 12:30 EST, we have our first Shark DAO spaces. So that'll be super fun.
And we're bringing on Blue from Xanadu to talk about their project. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's pretty sick. Awesome. All right, we'll have to word out about that.
We got to that too in the Discord.
It's pretty exciting. They're at 140 to 0. They got their prop pass. So
amazing.
We're making a mega episode of Xanadu, and I can't wait.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Cool.
Bud Light even voted for them?
You know what? Bud Light has not voted against a prop.
I know, it's
since
weird.
our prop. I think we converted them. I don't know.
Yeah.
What we
did something. You did something. I don't know.
We flipped the switch.
When is Stamps.com going to get a noun?
That's right. Stamps.com.
We do have a mailbox. Yeah, I was going to say, finally a reason to mint the mailbox head.
Exactly. There should be a stamp head, though. That would be a pretty good head, I think.
Yeah, stamp head would be rad.
I think I saw one in the Noundry before the 0808 contest. But
yeah, I was driving when you were like calling me out, Toady, and I was laughing so hard at the whole entire Stamps.com commercial. I mean, really, I highly recommend that you listen to the recording back to really get the full effect because it was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, it's really fun to listen to yourself bomb live after the fact. Yeah, it's great. No.
Oh no!
When everyone pretends they've never heard about Stamp.com,
bomb, but man, it hit. Don't
when
worry.
When you tell the joke and nobody laughs, and then they proceed to go on a 15-minute riff about said subject. Yeah, it's really great.
I'll put canned laughter in the edit. Don't worry.
Yeah, can you tighten that up in post, please, Robot Fish?
Yeah.
All right, we've gone super long today, but it hasn't even felt like it's been long because it's been really awesome with the guests that we've had and all the banter about stamps.com. And we might have a new sponsor for the show. So
we
I think
want
it'll all
that
be worth
check,
it.
stamps.com.
That's right. Thank you very much for joining us.
Give me your attention, baby.
Give me your stamp, baby.
You a little something about yourself. Your uniform flawless, ooh, you a sexy lady. But you walk around here like you wanna
Noun
be
O Clock to
someone
get
else.
$10 in postage on stamps.com.
Use promo code Noun O Clock on stamps.com. No, do not.
It won't work, but it will confuse them.
Just hit up support if it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's right.
Cody
Tell them Noun O Clock sent you.
Did you know you can print your own postage and shipping labels in seconds? You can now with stamps.com.
Stamps.com? Is that like the stamps that you normally put on an envelope except .com?
And they come with a free NFT now? Thanks to our guests. This was a great episode.
It's fantastic.
Shout out Loser Club. I'm out there picking out the good ones.
Shout out to Wizards DAO.
Yes. Congrats, Wizards DAO. Let's go.
Screw
Bankless. Bankless, come on the show.
Coward.
Redeem yourself.
Shout out Twitter Spaces. They didn't rug us today.
Yeah, boy! Did you hear about stamps.com on radio or podcast? Don't forget to enter code Noun O Clock for your free $10 in postage today.
You're gonna rug the space.